So I was on the internet because it's the 10,000th day of quarantine, and I stumbled onto this video. This kid is playing a game, but he loses. So he gets so angry, he smashes his phone and immediately regrets it. This little 10-second video is a perfect encapsulation of why emotional intelligence is so important. We've all been this kid. We've all been there where our emotions just get away from us and we act in a self-sabotaging way. We act in a way that doesn't feel like us, like the real us. Whether it's the night before the SAT and you know you have to sleep, but you just can't sleep because all you can think about is how important that test is. Or maybe your girlfriend is giving you the silent treatment because in her words, you just aren't listening. Or you're sitting around the Thanksgiving dinner table and you're 2 seconds away from punching that flat earther uncle who won't shut up while you're trying to enjoy these dinner rolls that Nana made. These problems all have one thing in common. These problems can be solved emotionally. Today we're talking about the fundamentals of everything this channel is based on. We're talking about the 4 parts of emotional intelligence. To do this, we're going to be using the Mayer-Salovey model of emotional intelligence. The dashboard in your car signals a ton of information to you. It tells you how fast you're going, tells you when you need more oil, when you're running low on fuel. It's this way of reading what's going on in your car, in your machine. We don't have a dashboard we can look at to see what our emotional state is. We can only notice the emotion by feeling it. We recognize it. When your heart's racing and you're breathing hard during an argument, that's the moment you need to recognize that you're angry. Without first recognizing the emotion, you can't regulate it. You cultivate this skill of recognizing your emotion through mindfulness training. Now in future videos, we'll get a lot more in depth into what mindfulness is, but the hyper-abbreviated version is that you're purposely paying attention to how you're feeling throughout the day. You're training that ability to say, I'm depressed, I'm agitated, I'm pissed. We think that we naturally do this, but we don't. We have all sorts of clever ways of not dealing with our emotions. Denial, repression, alcohol. Recognizing your emotions is harder than it sounds. Not to mention, there's always the problem of recognizing other people's emotions. The complex mix of body language, vocal tone, and facial expression all add up into telling us what someone is feeling. Is Stacy sad? Is Brian angry at me? Is my wife embarrassed of me? It's really important that we can accurately tell someone else's emotional state so that we in turn know how to treat them. Most of the time, we just live within this space of the emotion. If we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, we stay in a bad mood the entire day. Emotions have a way of snowballing when they aren't first recognized and then regulated. We think that we're logical people. When we look at reality, we see what's there. When we make decisions, we do so because it's the most logical thing that we could have done at the time. That just isn't true. Which half of the picture has more apples? This picture? This is reality. It's clear you can perform your task with no problem. This picture? This is reality with an emotional filter. If you have the wrong emotion for the situation at hand, you can regulate that emotion to change it to one that would better serve the situation. You're never going to be free from an emotional filter. You're never going to be Spock from Star Trek and be totally logical and unemotional. Those emotional filters are always going to be part of your decisions. But all hope is not lost, because we can use emotions. Emotions have the power to change the way we think. When you're feeling optimistic and hopeful about a project, anything is possible. You could brainstorm for days because this is going so well and you're getting so excited. But if you stay in that anything is possible mode, you won't ever take the critical eye to your idea that pessimism provides. All of these emotions aren't innately good or bad. They serve a function based on the situation they're needed for. You can hijack that function and use it to be a more effective person. Anxiety can serve as a way to push you to clean your room. Sadness could be a signal that you need to stop and reevaluate some things. Learning how to navigate this constantly flowing river of emotions will propel you to places you didn't know were possible. But a huge part of how that is done is by understanding emotions. Emotions act as a signal. They carry messages about different situations. It's important not just to recognize that you're having an emotional reaction to the situation. You need to understand why. Why do you get so angry when someone points out something about your teeth? Why do you get so sad on Christmas? Knowing these things about yourself, understanding these things about yourself, will give you a better understanding of who you are.
Takeaway tip.
Feel free to pause the video between steps and write down your answers. Grab a pen and paper, or just take notes on your phone. In Dan Siegel's book, Brainstorm, he talks about the importance of looking inside yourself. He talks about a technique called sifting. It's an acronym that stands for sensation, images, feelings, and thoughts. Close your eyes. We're going to do it right now. 3, 2, 1. Step 1. Sensations. With your eyes closed, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now in my body? You may feel that your shoulders are hunched. You may feel that your feet are tired. What does your breath feel like going in and out of your nostrils? What do the soles of your feet feel like? How about your forehead? Practice moving around your awareness to different parts of your body. Step 2. Images. With your eyes closed, ask yourself, what images come into my mind's eye? Sometimes we have a hard time putting complex emotions into words. Oftentimes, our minds will make sense of those emotions through an image. What are you seeing in your head right now? Step 3. Feelings. With your eyes closed, ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? Are you excited? Are you apathetic? Are you annoyed? What exactly are you feeling right now? Step 4. Thoughts. With your eyes closed, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Some people have an internal narrator, a little voice talking to them. Others just have a general sense of what they're thinking, more like instinct than anything. Just pay attention to what you're thinking. We use sifting as a way of checking in with ourselves to see what's going on inside. If you were a car mechanic, you need to open up the hood to see what's going on. Sifting gives you an opportunity to do that with that black box called your mind. We're basing our study of emotional intelligence on the Mayer-Salovey model. It says that we must be able to perceive emotions in ourselves and others. Once we recognize those emotions, we need to be able to regulate and manage it so that we can use the emotions for the correct situation at hand. We also need to understand why these emotions are arriving from the situation and understand more generally how they work and are interrelated to one another. And if you ever need to check in with yourself, try out Dan Siegel's sifting method. Join us next week when we talk about the most important science you haven't heard of yet, the study of a well-lived life, positive psychology.